Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the podcast. This time we are sit down with Seattle Seth. Yeah, there's a lot of S's in this one, and it is a tongue twister to start already.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
uh,
And honestly, I love the slip up of podcast. Maybe this should be
Bo-
a podcast,
yeah,
flex,
yeah,
here a little bit.
yeah, yeah. Everyone's dad bods and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, Seth, what is it? We go all the way back to the inception of ABL, which was that 2020?
I think it was 2021. Yeah, we were in on the
2021.
ground level of
Okay.
that league, and that was pretty fun for a while. And we did 3-4 years of that,
Yeah.
and now we're on the ground level of BBL, which Brendan is running. He was also in ABL. Was Brendan one of the original owners? Do you know?
Two. He took over for the Royal. He was Joe's friend,
Oh,
Dodgers
okay,
Joe. Yep,
okay,
he was in a league with Dodgers Joe, and he took over for the Royals guy who just like disappeared. No one heard from him.
okay. Cool. Well, he
And
was
then
he was good. I mean, he won a couple
yeah.
championships, and I'm a little nervous now being in this league with him. Hopefully, he's not as as dominating.
Yeah, well now here's the thing that we have a leg up on him. This is his first year with a kid.
Oh yeah,
He's a
that's
new
right.
father.
That's
So
right.
now he's welcome to parenthood. It's going to be a little different.
Yeah, us veterans are going to be just
Yes,
fine.
yep, yep, yeah. We already know the routine and everything.
Yeah, our
Now
kids
he's
are
got
like older now. How old are your kids?
I got a 1 and a 4-year-old, but
Oh,
I
one
mean the
and four.
1 year
Okay,
the 1 year old's almost two, and he's fully mobile, and he's run. I mean, it's not walking. You know how that is. It's run, and he's a
sure.
boy.
Yeah.
So I had a almost 2-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. So yeah, they're past
Okay.
the stage. I think he's got a 5 or 6 month old or something, or maybe it's not even that. Probably more, 2 or
No.
3.
Yeah.
It's very new.
Born in
Yeah,
February, I think was
yeah,
was
yeah. That
Brendan's
sounds
kids.
right.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
months. Yeah, mine are like 14 and 10. So like
Mm.
they already think I'm not cool. So I don't have to spend any time with them.
Oh yeah, I'm getting from the girl. I'm already getting the "you're not my best friend," and then 5 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then
All
5
right.
minutes later, it changes. You know how that
Yeah,
goes.
yeah, yeah. Very mercurial. At that age. Yeah. Cool.
4 going on 14 or whatever they say. All that. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, I know how
Someone
it
is.
is.
Oh no.
Someone join
And
us
then
on the.
yeah, no, it said chat because I put the chat. This is link. That's another thing is, the podcast channel is linked chat on Discord. So I don't even have to
Oh.
go over. So you see how I click that? So now we don't
Mhm.
even have to go over and we can see the chat messages. That's another
I
advantage of this stream.
I gotta check this out now. Yeah, I gotta make sure I'm in on the stuff that's being said.
Yeah, no, I you can see that I think off to the right or whatever. So
Maybe you
there's no
can. I
message.
can't see anything.
It's just my message. That's all.
Okay.
It should, and I'll show them on the mat. So yeah,
Sure.
if you want, go ahead and tell us about your fantasy experience, whatever else you want to share, and go from there.
Yeah. So let's see. I started playing back in the paper days in the 90s when my dad heard about it from like one of his brothers. And so we would, just our family, we would go around and pick by position. So it's like, oh, you get first pick on SP1. You get first pick on first base. You get first pick on second base. You just pick one at the beginning of the season. There were no trades. And at the end of the season, we'd buy like I think it was Athlon Sports or whatever, would put out this thing with all the stats at the end, and we'd tally them up, and they'd be like, okay, you won strikeouts, you won home runs, and then we'd like figure out the total, and we'd all pitched in like I think $5 or something, so the winner got $20 at the end. So that was like kind of my fun introduction. I started playing digitally in like 2009, and I've done pretty well in a variety of leagues, but this is the deepest. I mean, I can't imagine being in a league deeper than 30 teams. So
Mhm.
this is about as deep as it gets. But Yeah, been playing in several money leagues for a while, but this is right now. This is my only league. I'm only in this league this year. I got stretched too thin. You know, when you got kids and a
Yeah.
job, like 6 leagues is too much. You know.
No, no, I hear you. I hear you.
So
And I think there's
yeah,
a lot, some of these people that are, just getting into this or stuff like that, you'll find, oh, I'm in like 8, 10, 12 leagues. And then you talk to some of the people that are doing it for, yeah, I'm down to 2 or 3 or whatever, one or whatever.
yeah.
You get that, you start and you get, then it goes all the way. And then there's the decline of, yeah, that I've reached my peak and it's way too much.
Yeah, for a while your theory is that like, well, I get all this knowledge. It seems wasted to have this much knowledge just for one league. But then you start to go like, well, how much is too much to where I'm like literally having to check leagues like every few minutes, which is, so yes, already just staying up with the Discord and on fan tracks is enough for me. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I live in Madison, Wisconsin now. Been here for 6 years. Right before the pandemic, we moved here, and so I'm slowly becoming a Brewers fan, which is kind of sad in some ways, but also has been pretty rewarding. So they're continually good and surprising, and a kind of a small market underdog team, which is nice. But I know you. So you're a Cubs fan, and we were Cubs
Yep.
fans for quite some time. My wife grew up in Illinois, or was born in Illinois and lived in Illinois for a while. So yeah.
Because where were you before Madison?
So like I grew up in Georgia.
Okay.
Then we lived in Seattle for a while for like 5 years, and really became a Mariners fan there, and that's why I'm the Mariners now. But I was a Braves fan through the '90s, all that run growing up. That
Oh
was
yeah.
great. Yeah, a lot of fun. And then we lived in Illinois for a year and a half before Wisconsin, and we were kind of Cubs fans starting when Joe Madden kind of came on board and started, and Theo Epstein started building that. It was like, okay, this could be really neat, and you kind of could see where things were headed. And so from maybe 2011 to 2017, 18, 19, somewhere in there, like those were really fun years. But other than that, no, I just don't care about the Cubs anymore, and didn't before that. So
And it's interesting because most of the people in our age are either Cubs or Braves fans just because you know, TBS or WGN.
yep.
That's all that you had,
Man, it was
you know.
crazy. So before the Florida teams came around, the Braves were the only team in the South. So if you went all the way up to like DC or Northern Virginia, and then you went diagonally down to like Louisiana, everything below that, I mean, that's
Hmm.
like, I don't know, it's like 10 states or something,
Yeah.
was all Braves fans. I mean, it was the entire South. And so it was kind of nuts. We'd travel around and you'd see Braves gear in Kentucky and Mississippi and Florida and Virginia. It was just everywhere. So, yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, partly because of TBS, partly because they were good every
Yeah.
year, and so that's what's been neat about being a Brewers fan now is like kind of the same thing. It's like making the playoffs pretty much every year. Occasionally winning a series here or there. But the Braves were like not a big market team, but like they definitely had money. Whereas the Brewers, whether they have money or not, they don't spend it. So we're like constantly like, oh, Freddie Peralta's gone. Oh, Corbin Burns is gone. Oh, like we lose all these guys, and then we turn the next schmuck into some genius pitcher. I don't know how we do it.
And you keep winning trades.
Yeah, I guess like it kind of feels like how I run my fantasy team. It's like I trade Julio Rodriguez and he starts to suck, and I get Ramon Laureano and Robbie Ray, and they overperform, and I just think I don't know why that happens. It just happens.
Sometimes it's just dumb luck, and that's all you need.
I mean, I do think I was just talking to my wife this morning over coffee about how I think the universe is far more chaotic than we like to give it credit for. So people always look for reasons, and cause and effect. And it's like I don't know. If you want to ask me why did this happen, just string a few words together into a sentence, and that's probably as good of an explanation as any. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Things just happen.
Yeah. Nope. I agree. Well, I have your roster up here. Let me get it zoomed
Okay.
in so we can see. There
So
we go.
as you pull that up, I'll say that for a long time in leagues of like 10 to 15 teams per league, I would do kind of a modified stars and scrubs strategy, which did me really well. I would get as many of those like $20 to $30 players as I could, and then I was just really going to the waiver wire, picking up guys that for a dollar or whatever that would be productive, not superstars, but productive for a dollar, and fill out the rest of the team. And I would do really well that way. You obviously can't do that in a 30-team league because with our cap, you can maybe afford 4 stars, and then the rest of your team is scrubs, and they really are scrubs in this format. So I do have some stars there. I mean, I would call people like Corey Seager, Jazz Chisholm, Rafi Devers, Chris Sale. A lot of these guys are, I don't know, the ADP is probably in the top 50. So there's a bunch of sort of stars in there. But then I was able to move some of the guys like Julio Rodriguez and others for like guys that aren't really scrubs. They're just like good sort of mid-tier guys like Ramon Laureano and Robbie Ray and Chris Sale and, well, not Chris Sale. I guess he'd be a kind of a more elite guy, but some of those other sort of mid-tier guys, that kind of helped fill things out. So yeah.
So you said
you ordered
Laureano. I
Yeah,
can pull that up right there. There you go. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah. And Dominic Smith. I have no idea why he has 2 home runs, but he does. So it's like, cool. Like, this has worked out really well for me. And I've been pretty happy with how things have gotten off so far. I do think some guys are overperforming though, so I do think I'm going to regress to the mean at some point, But there are still some guys who haven't taken off yet. I mean, Devers really hasn't hit a stride yet. Jazz hasn't really hit a stride yet. Tyler Stevenson just hit his first home run yesterday. So there's, and I still have Zach Wheeler. He's on the IL and he'll come back in a couple weeks. So, we're gonna have some reinforcements here as some of the overperformers regress to the mean, I think.
And you got Gurriel. When's he due back?
I don't know. What does it say? Couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, he's getting at bats and he's running out of the batter's box in sim games. That was a couple days ago. Something that when I pulled up the Laureano thing, and this always interests me when I see it. How did the $2 come into the trade talks?
That was just an added thing. So it was going to be, I put out the offer of Julio for a lesser center fielder and a starting pitcher, and it was crazy. I reached out to I think every single team in our league, and almost everyone said, Julio's great, J-Rod's great, but it's too much for me to afford. I don't think I have something I can give. So I actually got offers or like significant conversation from like 3 owners, and this was by far the best offer. One guy was just like, forget who it was, but he's like, he didn't have a decent center fielder. So I was like, what about 2 pitchers? And he's like, I wouldn't give you 2 decent pitchers for J-Rod. I don't even think I'd give you 1. And I was like, good God, like no one wants J-Rod. So this was the best offer I got. It was Robbie Ray and Ramon Laureano. Then the Dominic Smith. So Davis Schneider got added in because I would have had to drop someone because of roster constrictions. And so he wanted Schneider. And I was like, that's fine. I probably would have had to drop him anyway. And then I was going to trade for Dominic Smith. He got offered for $3 fab. And it just got added in the deal for $2 fab to this deal. So it was 1 deal instead of 2. So that was just the Dominic Smith for $2 fab.
Okay.
So, and now I've got too many. I was going to get him as like my backup first baseman for Devers because I didn't think Jeimer Candelario would play that much. Now some days I've got 3 first basemen all playing and I can't get them in. And then I have I'm short on outfielders. And so I've got a empty outfielder on some days. So it's been really odd. It's always like this though, in this kind of league where you're just like, you can't, it seems impossible to have like starters in every position every day.
Yeah. Especially ones that play every day.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, like I look at this and I think, I don't know, this may not be a world beater team, but it definitely should be in the top 3rd, if not like higher. So there were some times when people would rank me like, I tried to look back at this and it's weird because like Mikey from Arizona Diamondbacks, so he had a listing, and when I searched in there for that number 26, it showed up, 26, and I click on that message, and now he's got me at like number 7 or something. So I was like, I don't know if he edited that message or what.
I think what he did is, and I don't go through and do this, I think he even said he did update based off of trades, because I mean, I'm sure as you know, when you follow the league, there's a lot of trades going on and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I think he updated based off of roster moves and trades, and maybe I know when I because I did one of these with him. This is his first. He's done a 30 teamer, but nothing like this format. And some of them, this is their first soiree, if you want to say that, into this format. This is not for you because, as we mentioned, we met in ABL. This is pretty much ABL with just a few modifications, but it's the same. You know what you need to get,
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing. He I remember in his podcast he said he was shooting for, I think in his projections, 440 or 445 a week. I was like, if you get that, you will win the league going away.
Oh yeah. I think like
Yeah.
300 every
300
week
is my
consistently.
yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's my number too. I know in talking to Brendan, he likes to get to about 350, which I mean, I think I fall more in the like I want to get to 300 with the hope of 325 and 350. Because I mean, if you get anything above that, like I remember when we were in TFE, which was Sam's version of this, we had
Yeah.
maybe like three or four 400s, like total for the whole year. And it was the
Okay.
same type of setup as like three or four total 400-point weeks,
Yeah.
like
That's
just
yeah,
in the
it's
year.
hard to get.
So
Yeah.
it's
Now,
hard to get there.
the scoring is a little different in this
The
league, right?
catcher,
So,
the catcher thing's the only thing that's different. Like the stolen
ah,
base is allowed.
yeah, but there's also I think have we always gotten like in ABL, did we get negative points for caught stealing as our base runner?
No,
'Cause
we didn't. No,
yeah, I
we
think we
didn't.
do
Yeah.
here.
Okay.
So yeah, there's I mean little things. So I used to be under the so I built this team similar to how I did in ABL, which is like so I think hitters are more consistent performers. Even your ace
Hmm.
pitchers will occasionally have a bad start, and in the playoffs, that'll wreck you, because you have a 1 week matchup, oftentimes. So, you could have Chris Sale or Paul Skeens. Look at his first start of the year. Imagine that happens in the first round of the playoffs, and your ace, who you were counting on for 25 points, gets you negative 10 or whatever. So, I always built it around hitters, and I thought if I have enough good hitters, they can't get you negative points. And even if one or two of them goes cold, you're still gonna have other guys hitting and getting you consistent. Should be consistent, stable points.
Hmm.
Now that hitters can get negative points, it maybe isn't as good
Not
of a
as
strategy.
well. You're not getting negatives at least for like strikeouts, like in some leagues.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not. It's they can, but it's pretty rare because you almost. I think it's like even negative a half a point,
Yeah.
but just getting on base gets you a point
Yeah. Right.
unless you reach via air, and that's the only time you get. And then you get caught stealing. So it's the only ones that I've seen get negative with this is like I've seen a catcher get like negative two or three because he allows like three stolen bases.
Which is such a weird stat because sometimes that's on the pitcher. Like John Lester
Hmm.
used to famously like never throw over to
Oh
first
yeah.
base,
Oh,
and
I
you think
know.
like,
Yeah.
well, that's oh yeah, because
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Do you remember that time when like someone was mocking him? Like it had become like really well known that he never threw to first. So there was some base runner over there on first, like just sort of like dancing around, like way off the bag. And John Lester's like, dude, knock it off. And the guy wouldn't stop. So he like sort of like begrudging, like stepped off the throw and picked the guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget who that was, but it was so funny to me because it was
Yeah.
so like
Because
I don't even want to throw over there, but if you're gonna get out, fine, I'll throw over there.
and it was like I think the crowd went absolutely berserk. Like the loudest anyone's ever went for like a pickoff move to first.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was so good. I like John Lester. So that's another thing. I was a
Yeah.
Red Sox fan for years because I hated the Yankees so much that like late '90s, I became sort of a Red Sox fan by default with Pedro Martinez, and I followed Manny Ramirez over there from the Indians because I started liking them after we beat them in the World Series in '95. So yeah, I became a big time Red Sox fan from about '99 to 2008 or so. And then I just stopped paying attention after a while. But yeah, that was a lot of fun with John Lester. Probably came up right around the end of that run, like
Hmm.
2006 7, 8, 6, 5, something in there. So
And
yeah,
just watching him and David Ross work around, like, some people that may not have watched as much of him back in the day, like, the timing they had to work around his yips or whatever you wanna call it to make a pickoff throw
yeah,
was just amazing. The fact that, like, we say that and people who probably never, who've never watched John Lester pitch, um, to way that he didn't allow that many stolen bases, the
yeah.
way
That's
that he
true.
worked
That's true.
around it, like, it wasn't like teams were like, they were trying to run wild on him, but whatever they worked out between him and Ross, they made it where they took away that quote unquote perceived edge base runners thought they had.
Yeah, David Ross was a great catcher. Maybe not a great manager, but he was a great catcher.
No,
That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you're still a Cubs fan then, huh? So you got like
Yeah, I'm at everything Chicago except the South Side. So for sports that, and then obviously Iowa for
for
you know
college stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because I've lived in Iowa 3/4 of my life. So
Okay. Yeah, man, you guys, that's another one. You guys took Craig Counsell, and I thought you guys
yeah,
were primed for a great run, and now it's all been like kind of underwhelming disappointment for the third year in a
hmm
row. And
yeah.
our random guy who was his bench coach became NL Manager of the Year. Like, I don't know. I don't know how it happens. I'm just happy it does. So yeah. So okay. So,
Seth, Gary says you are his man. He posts in the. It's not in the podcast chat, but
Gary, I love you too, man. Yeah, Gary was in there from I think from the beginning, or did he? No,
yeah,
he took over
or
for
no,
someone else.
he was Frank's friend. Frank was the
Okay,
beginning because Frank was the Cubs. I remember that Frank was the Cubs, and Gary and Frank go way back. I mean, Frank's in Utah and he does something with like school teaching. He's like a school administrator, and
something with
Gary.
school teaching.
Well, I don't know. He's like, I think he used to be a
Yeah,
teacher. Now he's like a principal or something like that. And then Gary's in the north, so like complete opposite parts of the world, and like best friends. And Gary's in like the northeast. Oh, let's see what happened there. Looks like just there we go. We're back. Okay, I don't know what happened
I don't know.
there.
All
Oh,
right.
but yeah, no, he's at Gary's in the northeast. So yeah, it's interesting to see all the like when you get in these leagues, there's a lot of layover. Just because it's hard, once you get in a 30-team league, the community for that nationwide, like serious
Oh
30 team
yeah.
league.
Well, at this point, beyond our borders, like we have one or two owners in Europe, right?
Two for sure in the UK.
No, one's in
Because
Belgium, right?
oh yeah, the other Matt. I know two. Ian and Ben are in the UK, and Matt is in Belgium or the Netherlands or something like that.
Oh yeah, maybe
And
it's
the
Netherlands.
you remember
Man,
Harry from the
yeah.
original ABI, and he was it New Zealand? Yeah, New Zealand. He was New
Jeez, man,
Zealand.
talk about a time difference.
Oh yeah.
I think it's funny though. You got to go outside the U.S. to find a White Sox fan. It's got to be
I
someone
don't
from
even
the
know if the guy's
Netherlands
a
taking
white.
them.
I don't even know if I think he just took over for what was left over. It's
Oh
interesting
yeah,
in some
that
of the,
might be.
a lot of these, the ABL and all those, we keep going back to that, but they have that same format of you're choosing real teams, and we notice recurring trend. Certain teams just are not.
No one
You
wants
just
them.
have no one wants. No one
They're the
wants.
bottom of the barrel. They don't have. It's funny. I do baseball cards, and I've noticed that too. Like, there's just some teams. No matter how good the player is, if he comes up on one of those teams, it's just there is just no interest. Because they just have not cultivated a fan base over the last years and decades. Whereas, if you come up with the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Braves or the Mariners, or Brewers, or Cubs, there's like already a built-in, like, even if you're just like a mediocre prospect, people are paying attention and they care. Um, so they'll buy their rookie cards, they'll buy their autos. But yeah, that's yeah. Oh, by the way, the Pope's a White Sox fan, but he no longer lives in the
Yes.
U.S. So he lives over in the Vatican, I guess. So
Yes, one of 3 citizens.
Oh,
The
really? There's three
Vatican,
citizens in the Vatican?
yeah, the Vatican. The Vatican only has 3 citizens.
Oh, you're Catholic, so I'll refrain from
Yes.
making my Pope joke now.
Oh,
Okay, good.
don't worry. I was in the seminary for a year.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Were you
yes. I
gonna
was in.
were you
Yep,
gonna
I
be a
was gonna.
priest?
Yep, yep, yep.
So this must have been before you got married.
Yes, it was. I was. It was my sophomore year in college.
Okay. All right.
Yep, yep,
Interesting. All right.
yep.
Well, cool. Well,
Sorry,
man,
as you know, and everyone, and so didn't mean to, I put this up because I'm still waking up. So sorry. Now we have the sit down with Seattle Seth in the bottom, and then our
oh yeah, I
logo on
see.
the.
I see.
Yeah.
Very
Uh,
good. Very good.
Sorry, were you adding something else there?
No, not really.
No.
I just think it's funny to think of the crossover that we probably have. I think Gary might be Catholic too. Um,
Yeah.
and I know we got like an evangelical guy in the league
Yep.
because he's posted some stuff about that. I used to be a Lutheran pastor, but
Yeah.
now I'm a hospice chaplain. So
Okay. Yeah, because I
I
was gonna
just
say I know you were in the ministry in some form.
yeah, I was ELCA Lutheran, sort of Catholic light, if you
Yep.
will, and now I deal with dying people who are mostly have severe dementia. So
Okay.
that's interesting. But yeah, so I really enjoyed being back in this league with you and Tony and Brendan and others. But are you in sorry Gary and
Oh,
Brendan and others? But yeah, I'm having a blast watching all these games, and I had a lot of fun watching the World Baseball Classic this year for the
oh yeah.
first time. I never paid attention before, so that was
I
fun.
didn't. Yeah.
So,
Is
but
this the
you're
most it's been televised?
probably I feel like that was part of it. And I don't, it's just so weird. I don't pay attention to the Olympics. I
Yeah.
never paid attention to the World Baseball Classic, and just for whatever reason this year, I just saw some clips and I was like, oh, this looks cool, and I started tuning into some of the games, and that was a lot of fun. And then the start of this year has been fun. I went to opening day for the Brewers and watched Jacob Mizorowski strike out like 12 guys in 5 innings, which was nuts. So yeah, it's already been like off to a fun start, and these random dudes I'm trading for in fantasy are doing really well.
Yeah.
Like so, it's one of those like cool. It's more fun when you get lucky and you're accidentally good at things. I like that. So I would say like I'm overperforming, but I don't know. Like sometimes there's just weird wackiness that starts that first week, and I was gonna see through. Like I know Alan's doing really well. Are you doing pretty well right now?
I am. Let's see. Overall scoring. I'm
Let's see.
14th in overall scoring. I
So
can
so
do this.
mediocre. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Who
can
is
go.
Tampa Bay Rays? Is that one of the English guys? One of
Yeah,
the
I think
British
that's
guys?
Ian. Let's see. Is it
Except he
Ian?
spells his name weird, just like
Vega.
IAIN.
Yeah, yeah, Ian. That's if that's who it is. Ian. He's one of the British guys.
Yeah, yeah. He's British because of the ridiculous spelling.
Yes, yes,
uh, so let's see.
yes.
He's doing great, and then I'm second there, and then Alan,
That's
and then
Alan.
who's the Brewers? Who's that? I don't know the name. Let me see if I
Christopher.
find it. Man, he's not active in the chat, huh?
No,
Okay. Well, that's fine. You don't have to be.
no,
Honestly, it's
no.
probably a waste
That's
of time anyway.
yeah, yeah. No kidding.
Uh,
Uh,
and then Brendan's
you,
next, and then
yeah,
Reds. Yeah.
and then Tigers. John.
Yeah, I know John. So I know Reds guy wanted me to defend his team, and I just thought
Yep.
I don't know anything about his team. So I mean
Yeah,
he's sixth now. I don't know what
yeah,
did Mikey from Diamondbacks rank him. I'll have to find that out.
yeah.
Uh,
Well,
let's
speaking of that, that's a
see.
nice segue. You had receipts you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, so I'm looking those up now. And it's weird. I don't know. I don't know where I found this because now that I'm looking at it, it's not at all like what I thought it was.
It's
I'm pretty sure Mikey must have changed his rankings.
yes.
Because I was 26th out of 30 at some point. I remember just being like unreasonably offended at that. And
Hmm.
it was like pretender and then like some kind of like advice, trade away Jazz Chisholm for a prospect or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? You know? So I noticed now that like opening day thing, Mikey from Diamondbacks has the power rankings, me at 7 and Reds at 13. So Reds is still a pretender on Mikey's opening day rankings. So I would say if he's sixth most in points, he's probably not a pretender, right?
Mhm.
I mean, that is the thing. It's early, so things are going to fluctuate, and guys are going to get called up, guys are going to get injured, players are going to regress. But if you're in the top 5 to 8, maybe even 10 scorers right now, you're probably not a bad team. I don't think,
No.
Um, and if you're in the bottom 10, that could be due to all sorts of things. So I wouldn't even necessarily
Yeah.
relegate any bottom 10 team to anything, except for teams. So he has this like properly tanking and should completely tank. Those teams, if they've traded away all their assets, then yeah, of course they're like sort of like admitting I'm not competing this year. Are you? Let's see. Your Cubs. Where did you get ranked in this? Oh, 10th. Hey, you're in the top 10 on Mikey's rankings. How about that?
Yeah.
Now, you did rankings too, though, right? Now, what did you give me?
Yes.
I can't remember. I can't find it.
Let's see.
See, it's weird that like it's weird that it's hard to find this stuff because you'd think it would be. Oh, maybe it's in a different thread. I'm looking in the DBL chat. Maybe it's in a different thread. That's
I
probably
think
what
there's
I'm doing.
a rankings thread or
Is
whatever.
there? Hold on. Let's see. No, I don't see a rankings thread.
Nope, I'm not seeing one either. I don't know. Let me see. I'm going into my Google Sheets.
Someone's got to tell
That's
us on the.
yeah,
Oh, your Google.
someone's
You.
got that's what I
Oh,
use for most of my stuff. I don't want to do sheets for work. I just want to do Google Sheets, normal Google Sheets.
so speaking of Mikey from D-backs, he posted during this pod. He posted about Alejandro Kirk is going to miss time with a left thumb fracture, and I think so. One of my favorite players, both with baseball card collecting and fantasy, and to watch, is Dalton Varsho.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep, he was born here in Wisconsin, probably an hour or two from where I live, and I didn't know that at the time. Of course, I just moved here, but he came up with the Diamondbacks as a catcher and caught for them for a couple years and would occasionally bat leadoff. And I always thought that was fascinating, like a catcher who bats leadoff and steals bases. And then started playing some center field for him, and that's even weirder. Like you think of catchers who converted later, like maybe Craig Biggio, who played second base, which is weird, but usually a catcher goes to DH or first base. But to have a catcher convert to center field and also bat leadoff and steal bases was always like really intriguing and fascinating to me. And so he's now in Toronto with Kirk injured. He may become like an emergency or backup catcher for them. But he's apparently like a center field savant. So like you see these like crazy plays. I think it was early last year where he was like he slipped on the turf or something and fell down and still like caught the ball like behind his back while he's like down on a knee or something. And it's just like this really fascinating thing to watch because he's apparently like his speed and his baseball IQ just make him like this defensive savant. If he can hit, then he's kind of an amazing player. So uh, I'll bring that up since the Kirk injury.
I had you about like 6 or 7 in the American League.
Oh yeah, and you and Alan discussed this
Yeah.
on that pod. So yeah, I think yeah. So yeah, middle of the pack for AL, which is probably about right. And then I don't remember Alan probably was about the same. I think he had me. No, he had me lower. I think Alan had me at like ninth in the AL, which I think is definitely too low. Man,
I
I
didn't
can't believe you.
rank. Well, this is just a Google sheet. I just did you like 45, 40. How the hell do I zoom? There we go.
Oh yeah, you guys were doing on the 20 to 80 scale, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and I think you
didn't
had me as
go
like
through and
slightly
rank.
above average
Yeah, I had you at
on everything.
45, 45, 45, 45,
Yep.
like right there. So
Which
everything
yeah, what
was
is
just
40? Is 40 kind of league average? Is that right?
yeah,
Or
I don't, someone said that to me and they're like, I was like, I'm just doing this for fun, honestly. Like, me, I just fly off the cuff with some of this. I was like, don't take some of my stuff this seriously, And I usually do like over unders. I didn't even get to that this year. I'll probably put those out April 1st or May 1st. And like
okay.
I'll do like over unders for win totals because I completely forgot like, and I don't even know if you remember this in this league. We play the league median,
Oh yeah, yeah. So
the
like
league median store.
I've never noticed that before, and I just noticed
Yep.
that number on there like the other day. So how is that like what the median number is of all the scores currently in BBL for the week?
Yep. And
Okay.
that's one of your matchups.
Oh, it is.
That's a game. That's like a
Wait,
legit game.
I don't even know the rules of this league.
No, it's fine. That is a legit game. Like
So I'm winning
it's
money. So I'm winning 3 matchups plus the league median. So I'm winning 4 matchups right now.
yeah, because if you go right here, league median currently is 332.
Wait. Oh, okay. The white number is the league median. See, it's weird on the app on your phone because it's like the 332 is close to the center and white, and the league median is in asterisks all the way to the left, and then beside league median is a number in green, 382.52, which I don't know what that number means
That's the 382 is what it's going to be projected for the rest of the scoring period. So we only have
for the
2 days
league
left.
median. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait, for
so
the
league
rest of the
median.
scoring period?
Well, yeah, because we end tomorrow.
Okay, so
It's
okay,
only going to
so
get 50. It's only league median's only going to get 50 points between today and tomorrow is what it's
okay, but mine
projecting.
so for my team, the little green number is 301, but I'm already at 459. So what does
Okay,
that
never
mean? Is
mind
that
then.
maybe it was the original estimation,
Oh, it
like
probably
before the
is.
week
Yeah,
started, which means
I guess
it
that
thinks
makes
I'm
sense.
overperforming by about 150, maybe 200 by the end of the matchup. I
Yeah,
don't know. That's
yeah,
weird. I don't know. That's so bizarre. Uh, I'm still. It's weird that we don't know this stuff, right? Like we're
yeah.
playing
We're
for
all
money, and
sitting
we're
down
like,
on this. We're like, oh yeah, this is a rule. We forgot this is a rule, and we
yeah.
tell people, but
Is
yeah.
Brett?
It's go ahead.
I was just wondering, like, is Brendan probably like watching this, laughing at us, being like, "These idiots don't even know the rule book, the
We don't even know
Constitution."
yeah. I mean,
Jeez.
the gist of it.
Yeah, yeah. The
Like
finer
to
points, you
me, like not knowing the league median is not a huge deal. It's
sure.
more like knowing, hey, fill your lineup, be active. That type of stuff
Well,
is
yeah. Okay.
way more important.
So there's another
Good.
fantasy baseball strategy that I probably employ at least a slightly different method than most people. So I like playing in keeper leagues or dynasty leagues because I feel like there's a market inefficiency that people value prospects too much. And I've said this
Hmm.
in the
Yep.
Discord, so it shouldn't be really news or anything. But like, I think about how many prospects fail, or even if they don't fail, they take a while. They stumble at first, and then their cost radically decreases, and you can get them way cheaper. Like it's one of those things. Like, and I see this. It's funny because I see it in the baseball card thing too, where, um, these prospects get so hyped and their cards go for so much money, and it's so predictable. All you do is wait a few months, and then you can get them for half that, a quarter that, tenth that price, because either they get injured in the minors, or they come up and they fail in their first 2 weeks, or all sorts of other reasons. I mean, the number of prospects who actually come up and succeed right out of the gate, like
Oh yeah.
immediately, and then they don't really stop succeeding is almost zero. I'm not
Hmm.
saying oh, more prospects fail than succeed. I'm saying like 99.9, maybe another few nines on there percent have some level of failure that causes their stock to drop in baseball cards and in fantasy baseball. So I just don't. I value prospects, but at far less than current MLB players. So I feel like I effectively traded. Now this is one this is one where it may be an exception. I effectively traded Andrew Painter for Chris Sale, and you know, there was more to that trade. I think it might have been a 2 for 2, but that was essentially the main part of that trade. And Andrew Painter may prove me wrong because he may come up and he had a good first start, and if he just keeps pitching like that, he may not be better than Chris Sale, but he's $1, rather than, and he's a 2050, so he doesn't have to be signed this next offseason. Whereas Chris Sale is like $25 or something, and you could keep Andrew Painter for 6 years. Well, yeah, that whole. Oh, and Trey Turner was in there, so I traded. Oh, I forgot I had Wallner. Seriously, I didn't even know I had Wallner. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So effectively, that part of the trade was Painter for Sale, and I mean, I want Painter to do well, but not too well, because then I'll feel bad about the trade. So, uh, normally that's the kind of trade I would make all day, every day. Like the prospect who might be good for the MLB veteran who is already good. Here's another market inefficiency. I think that starting pitchers, well, all pitchers, even relievers, do they seem to hit their stride later in their career. So you have hitters
Mhm,
who come up and are immediately good, like Mike Trout, Juan Soto, Rafael Devers, all those kind of guys. And there are some pitchers who do that, like Paul Skeens. But a lot of pitchers, I think, they take some time to figure things out. They figure out new pitches, or different grips, and so it's not uncommon to look at the best pitchers in baseball now or ever and see that in their 30s they were better than in their 20s. I feel like
mhm,
that's a fairly common trend. So I don't mind getting a starting pitcher or a reliever who's 34 or 36 even, and riding them for a few years instead of the 24-year-old who should be great, but I feel like is almost certainly going to have some hiccups and road bumps as they figure out how to navigate this situation or this dynamic, or how to pitch without blowing out their elbow, or how to grip the curveball this way late in games. Like those are just things that I think take some time. So even if Andrew Painter succeeds for a while, I would imagine there will be moments where he's already gotten injured once. He might get injured again. Of course, anybody can get injured, but I feel like again, it's like there's something I think that happens with pitchers that like. So in other words, if I'm looking for like my ideal age range, I like hitters in their mid to late 20s, and I like pitchers in their like kind of mid 30s oftentimes.
mhm.
And I don't hear a lot of discourse about that, but that's just sort of the trend I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed something similar with those kind of age ranges.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I maybe will go with pitchers late 20s, early 30s, maybe a little younger, but like I agree that they tend to blossom a little later. You made a comment about like prospects and stuff like that, like 99 point, like the low hit rate. You mentioned Juan Soto. I remember this famously because when I built my BBL team or my ABL team, I drafted Victor Robles. And I was like, well, no, and this is why you're laughing because Victor Robles was actually the better touted prospect than Juan Soto.
I know. I know. He was the
You
number
know,
one in the Nat system. Yeah.
for forever. And I was like, and I think Soto went for like 54, and I think I got Robles for like 16 or something like that. And I was like, well, this guy was the number one prospect, and he's going for 20%
60.
of the call
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever it was. Like how can I not see value in that? Because like sometimes those former prospects that fail will come back and
Yep.
they'll still produce, but people forget about him because like, oh, he's like a Robles who's like, yeah, he's just blah whatever. But in this league, that he has value when Robles is on the field.
I like those like what they call them, post type sleepers, or
Yep,
whatever.
yep, yep.
But sometimes those bust too. Like I remember
Oh
everybody
yeah,
wanted Kelnick to eventually hit, and he just never
yeah.
did.
Hmm.
But yeah, that I think that happens pretty regularly, and just prospects that are not prospects, valuable players who come out of nowhere. Like Matt
Hmm.
Chapman is the prime example I think of there. When he first started hitting for the A's, he was no one. Like he was just some rando who
Hmm.
finally made it to the majors. And I think there's a lot of guys, hitters and pitchers, that are like that. So I just sort of think unless you're near MLB, if you're AA or AAA, I'm not even paying attention to you until you get close. And even then, you're coming at a discount, in my opinion. And I'd rather just find the 27-year-old hitter who, you know, started to figure it out in AAA last year and suddenly has playing time. Like uh, I traded him, but TJ Rumfield I picked up after the whole prospect draft. I got him on waivers for a few bucks because I saw he was going to start for the Rockies, and he's been pretty good. And I
Hmm.
wish I hadn't traded him away, but I had to get whoever it was I got. So yeah, so that's those are my major. Oh, and relief pitchers. I I think that's a market inefficient. I think people
Mhm.
value relief pitchers too highly in this league. So I didn't spend more than I think $4 on the in the draft on any of my relievers. And
Paul Sewald 5.
oh, there you
That's
go.
it.
Okay, five's the
But
top.
that's it. But yeah.
But
No, I'm
let's
literally just looking at it. But yeah, 5. I mean 4 or 5, whatever. That's the same
yeah,
thing. But yeah.
and I think what's crazy is I think I'm either leading or close to the top in saves. I have to figure out how to look at those like stats because they're kind of meaningless in this sort of scenario. But let's see, can we look at stats? Because I've got all these weird guys like Tyler Alexander got 2 saves and Jose Urquidy got a save and Blade Tidwell got called up and got a save and Alberto Suarez got a save, and so it's like you get saves just from weird sort of things like that. That like I just don't think the closers are worth it. They're highly volatile, and it's not worth it. So if you're able to find that, I'm close to the top there, but I don't know how to find it
I'm
quickly.
trying to find a way to find that, but Fantrax is being Fantrax. But no, like another thing too is like for people who've never been in this type of setup, we also value holds as well.
Right,
You
and
know,
holds are yeah,
you can spend a lot on those saves guys, because it's worth 7 versus 4 or something like that. But you can find some good seventh and eighth inning guys for $2 to $3 to $4 that
yep,
have pretty good ratios, pretty good strikeout rates. They're just not getting as much. And sometimes those hold guys get more work than the save guys. It's a
yep,
lot easier to get a hold because you only need to come in the seventh or eighth inning. That
yeah,
saves
and
guy
just
has to have it happen in the ninth inning and a 3-run lead and yada, 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 where the hold guy can come in the bottom of the sixth, top of the seventh, or whatever, and then all of a sudden the team explodes for 3 runs. Well, now you're not getting a save, but your hold guy got a hold.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's hard.
and you probably are like getting favorable matchups too. You come in the seventh or eighth, and you're a lefty, and you're facing 3 lefties in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, and I did find a way. It's in matchups. You can sort by stats, and I am tied for the lead at 6 with you
Okay.
and the Cardinals.
Okay.
But I think that's only the ones that are counted. I think I had a save or 2 on my bench, so I may have the most saves on the as a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think find the guys that are in closer by committee, find the eighth inning, seventh inning setup guys, spend a few bucks and let them do, and yeah, they won't be as worth as much as Mason Miller or whomever, but they also come at like 1/10 the cost.
Yeah. Well, and find them
So
on shitty teams too, because they
yeah,
play close games.
yep,
You know
yep.
what I
So
mean? Everyone
that's
talks about like, oh, I got the closer for the Dodgers or whatever. But I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, they are the best team in baseball or whatever. But how often is the closer going to be in a 3-run game? You
yeah,
got the closer for, say, the Diamondbacks. Okay, well, they're a shitty team. They're more apt to be in like a 3-2 game
yep.
than the Dodgers who are going to win 7-1 or
They're
something
still
like
going to
that.
win close to half their games, and most of
Yeah,
those wins are going to be close. So
yeah,
yeah, why not? Yeah. Yes, yeah. The Dodgers, where they win like 14-2 the other day, and it's just like, well,
yeah,
yeah, no one's getting a hold or save there.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
by the
I
way,
think that was yesterday, and I have Miles Mikolas just to show people like
oh
he gave up whatever he did. Okay, like you said, this is how skewed starting pitching scoring is. He was only -4. Think about that.
and he gave up like 8 runs in 4 innings or
11,
something.
I think. No, it was like so you can have such a. Let me pull it up so I can.
So I'll tell you this story while you're pulling that up. I drafted Shohei Ohtani 1 year way back when he first came over. It wasn't his first year, like 2018 was his first year. I wanted to say I drafted like 2019 or something, or 2020. He was coming back from his first Tommy John or something, and he blew up. Like he gave up like a ton of runs the first game. Didn't make it out of the first inning, I think, and then I think he had his second Tommy John or something. It was something like that, and I
Mhm.
just remember thinking like, wow, I finally drafted Shohei Ohtani once in my entire fantasy baseball career, and it ended up being a net negative. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Look at
Michaelis
that.
is
So 4 and a third, 11 earned with 11 hits. Okay. and the guy's only negative 4.33.
Yeah. You definitely want
Like
to get your starts because as long as they're not
even
horrifically bad, they
bad
won't get
ones,
negative.
yeah, they'll get negative, but like that's probably going to be top 20 worst starts of the year. I would
Yeah, I
bet
would I would say imagine.
for starting pitching.
Yeah,
Even the guys that start in Coors.
are going to do better than that. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you get let's see, that's one of those things you said it was skewed, and I do think it is, and I wonder if we should. I mean, we're not going to do an adjustment in
no,
season, and but and maybe not ever, but like it is one of those
it's
things like
hard.
if you can get yeah, it is hard to do adjustment because people base their you don't want to
Yeah.
trade for a guy long term and then all of a sudden he's going to be worthless because you adjusted the stats. But you know, it is weird that you can have a pitcher who maybe goes 4 innings and gives up 4 runs, and by all accounts, that's a bad start. You didn't go
Yeah.
deep in the game. You gave up as many runs as innings pitched, and yet you'll still get positive points in this league. That's a little weird.
Well, here you
Um,
go. Like Mikolas, back to him. His first start was 5 innings. He gave up 4 earned, 6 hits, and 3 walks.
and how many strikeouts did he get?
He had four,
Okay, and
and
he
he had
got
5.5 points.
yeah. That
Like,
is really weird. That feels like it should be negative, maybe like negative
yeah,
one or two or something. Oh well. Yeah,
it's
I mean
just
it's
strikeouts. The strikeout. If you strike out a guy an inning, it's hard to get negative.
yeah, because you get points for the inning and points for the strikeout. Yeah.
I mean, you get
That's
three right there, two for the inning and one for the strikeout.
yep. And I wonder like Michaelis isn't supposed to be like a strikeout pitcher, is he? He's
No,
like okay. So I I don't know. You got to get your starts. This first matchup is weird. We get 12 starts, and I
yep.
think very few teams are going to actually get to that 12. But
Mhm.
I think if
Well,
so, if
and
the
it's skewed more towards the aces
yeah, well
because
for
they're going to
sure,
pitch a lot. Like in this matchup, it's skewed more towards the aces, and you'll have that in weeks just because the way the probables fall. But
yep,
this first week, I take stock in it, but not as much because it's not going to show your true depth. Like
yeah,
it'll show the top heavy pitching teams for sure. Like if you spent on aces, you should be doing pretty well this week because most of
yeah.
those guys are going to go
I
three
just wonder about
times.
like yeah, there you could get three guys through now. There were the games when we're spaced out. There were more off days for a lot of teams,
Yeah.
so there's probably only a few pitchers who are actually going to get 3 starts in this matchup time frame. But yeah, it's possible. I do think on a normal week with 7 start max, you probably need 5 or 6 starting pitchers
Hmm.
to regularly get that 7
Yep.
because you'll have 1 or 2 guys usually getting 2 starts in a week. So in fact, I was doing the math the other day. I was like, I think on average, once every 5 weeks, I think a pitcher should get 2 starts in a week. So 5 pitchers should yield you 6 starts normally, like
Yeah.
in an average week. And of course, you're gonna have variance. But so yeah, if you have 5 or 6 starters, you should get that 7, and that's another thing. Of course, you're gonna have injuries and other stuff, but that's another kind of one of my targets of like how many I have. So like Wheeler, I don't have right now, but once Wheeler is back, I should have.
I
That's
think you
another
have 5 or 6.
Wheeler, Valdez, Ray, Sale, McClanahan. Like that's 5 right there, and those are all kind of aces. Like those are top 30 pitchers basically, or top 40 pitchers. Starting pitchers, all of them, and then I got a few other guys that should, maybe eke into the rotation, like Trey Melton, or Gibson Long or Ryan Weiss or Blade Tidwell or someone that like when it Cal Quantrill. Once an injury
Yeah.
happens, they kind of eke in there. So eventually I'll have enough and that'll be fine. So um,
Well, heck, like me, I just woke up to today's news. Patrick Corbin signed with the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays have like 8 injuries in their starting rotation.
really, I didn't hear about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
Patrick Corbin
now he's someone that
is
has had an up and down career.
yeah, but I mean he's just like I mean that's the shitty pitchers. I Patrick Corbin, German Marquez, Lance McCullers, Miles Mikolas, Taiwan Walker, and Jake
Wait,
Irvin.
you
I have
picked up Cade Winquist? I just dropped him. Dang
yeah,
it. Do you think he's going to break in? I had never heard
No,
of him
here's the
before.
only, and I'll tell you, it's funny that you're on the podcast. I'm the one who picked him up. Do you know the only reason I picked him up? I looked at his blurb. He was a Rule 5 pick, and he has to stay in the majors all year. They can't send him down.
Yep.
And if they send him down, he has to get returned or something like that. And he
Yeah.
has no stats. So if he makes his debut, you get that free year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
So
he
that was
pitched
the,
throughout the minors, or he started
yeah.
started throughout the minors. So I just thought, Yankees, even if I have to
Yep.
flip, but I had to drop someone at some point. I just
Yeah.
thought, okay, I guess it's going to be this guy. But I mean, I hope he does well for you. I don't.
That was really, I don't even know anything about the guy other than the Rule 5 thing. I'm going to be honest,
This
because that
is.
free year makes a difference.
Oh yeah, it does. And I will also say, like, saying nothing about the guy describes probably half my team, almost all my minors. Like people in trade talks are like, "What about so and so?" And I'll be like, "Is that a guy on my team or your team?" I don't
Yeah.
know. And they're like, "It's
Yeah,
your
let me
guy,"
go
and
look.
I'm like,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
"I don't know." And they're like, "How do you not know your own guy?" I don't know. Like I haven't heard of most of
Yeah.
these minor league players I have.
Yeah.
I saw a good blurb on them, or they were ranked somewhere, on Fangraphs or something. Um, and that's
I
that's
think
just how this league is.
one year I owned like Colton Ledbetter. I was like, I just like him because his last name's Ledbetter.
I've got him now. He's on my team now. I traded him because I was like,
Oh,
someone offered me him as like a throw in a trade, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is. So I went and looked him up on Fangraphs. And I was like, I don't know. He seems like he's got a chance to be okay, but yeah, I don't have high hopes. So yeah, it's just a weird situation we get put in these leagues. But yeah, and it's so much stuff that you can do a podcast on
yep.
a like weekly basis, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna
That's
do
cool.
one tomorrow. We're doing a weekly wrap up every Sunday afternoon. I think is
Okay.
what me and Alan settled on.
Oh, and
It's
so
so
he's joining you
funny.
every Sunday.
Yep, every
Okay,
Sunday. We're just
cool.
doing these throughout the year as owners to want to get. It's so funny you said, and I'm going to tell you this. You were backstage before the start, and you're like, "Where do these things go?" Usually like 20 minutes or something like that. I don't know if you can look and you see the top center. We are at
Yeah.
56:33.
All right, time to go. We did two
No,
episodes already.
but that just goes to show, like, sometimes some of these things can just take off and take a life, and that's what all these are about. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be like I have no problem doing either way you want to do it. Like me and you just sat down and it was like two guys having a beer or whatever you want to say. And then like Mikey was bringing the stats and the spreadsheets and whatever. And it just goes shows there's not one way to attack this. You can
Yeah.
do it many different ways
As
and
long as you're
still
having
have
fun.
success. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the key. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Having
I and
fun.
I, I will say this is a good group of guys. I've been having fun in this league,
Yes.
so I'm really happy.
And we've
Yeah.
been in leagues with bad groups of
Yeah.
guys. So.
It's funny in a 30-team league. It's like you can have 20 great guys, but 10,
Yeah.
even one or two, can really ruin it.
Oh, yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
And that's
So
something that like we talk about that. And I'm not trying to like have people have FOMO of not being in those leagues, but there are lessons learned from those leagues that I know Brendan will not allow to happen in this
yeah,
league.
yeah.
Um to sustain the long-term success and health of the jeez. Hey, maybe
Gotta have
that's
some
a good way.
coffee.
No, I'm going back to sleep.
Okay.
I'm going back to sleep. So don't worry, I'm not getting coffee. It's a rain. It's like it's not rainy, it's dreary here.
Yeah,
So it's
it
gonna
is
be
here too.
perfect. It's gonna be perfect for me to go back to sleep, no problem. Like I said, I work at
Good.
8 p.m. I mean it's
Jeez.
11:30. I'm still gonna be able to get another 4 or 5 hours of sleep, which is fine.
Man, I'm sorry you woke up just for this. I apologize.
It's fine. I mean, my kid would have woke me up if they were home.
That's
And then
true.
I just
Yeah.
go back to, but like, I mean, working overnights, I don't know if you ever done that, but like there is no such thing as a sleep schedule.
Man, I tried and I realized I couldn't. I tried twice. I tried cleaning a store one time in my 20s. I tried newspaper delivery one time in my teens. And man, it was. I just realized like by the second or third day, I was like, I absolutely cannot do this. I'm going to lose my mind. I have to sleep at night. So
And
quit
I
both
hated
those
9 to 5.
jobs.
I
Okay.
was a bank teller and I absolutely hated it.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
Well,
like I'm just one of those guys that's wired for, yep, I have no problem going into work and leaving when it's dark out.
I got a friend who's like that, who is always like just a night. He didn't like waking up before noon. It didn't really get
Yep.
going until like the sun started going down, and then he's like
Yep.
totally 100% energy. And it's just, yeah, we're wired differently. That's cool. No
Yeah.
worries.
It takes all of us to make the world go round.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, man, thanks for having me on today. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I was going to say, is there anything you wanted to close with that maybe you didn't get to touch or anything?
Well, I play in a death metal band, so if you're into death metal, look up Becoming the Archetype. And we had a reunion album out just a few years ago. It's the kind of metal with screaming and stuff like that, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, good luck to everybody, but just not good enough luck to beat me. I still want to win.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Steven, I don't know what team he is in here. He's from Texas. He and Alan go off on those obscure music stuff. You'll have to hit him up.
Okay.
Steven Padres, I believe.
Okay.
He's the Padres. Yeah, Padres.
Okay.
Steven from the Padres. Yep, Chaos in Texas. He's a guy from Texas. He is a random obscure music guy.
Well, so I think Matt for the White Sox
is also
the European guy. He's also into some shoegaze, dream pop, punk, stuff like that. So
yeah, and Alan is.
And I know Alan is. Yeah, he's suggested some good bands already. So yeah.
And so is Steven. You'll have to chat him up.
Okay, I'll have to reach out to Steven and check into him. That'd be cool.
Yeah, him and Alan always bounce off music stuff with each other. So
cool. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Seth. You have a good rest of your weekend and Saturday, and good luck to the Mariners. And hey, good luck to both of us against this new league median thing.
Yeah, amen to that, brother. All right, well, have a good time getting back to sleep, and I'll see you there in the chat. All right.
Sounds good.
All right.